Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me SANIATUL MASLUCHA from Extensive Reading G with attendance number 9. Today in this 7th meeting, I would like to present novel report. Well, the novel that I would like to share today is China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. This is the second book in the Crazy Rich Asian series. Well guys, let's get started. In this slide shows book details. China Rich Girlfriend is a satirical 2015 romantic comedy novel by Kevin Kwan. It is the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians, a novel about the wealthy Singapore elite. Kevin Kwan was asked to write the sequel by his publishers after initial success of Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, there are four details such as author, published, language, and genre. This book was written by Kevin Kwan that was published on June 2015 with the English language, and the genre of this book is novel. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This slide shows characters. The characters of this novel actually is so many, but I just take a little characters. Okay. For the first characters is Rachel Young or Rachel Chu, a New York University professor who is engaged to and marries Nick Young, an American economist of Chinese descent who was raised by a single mother and had a humble upbringing. She is revealed to be the daughter of the prominent wealthy man after recently discovering that her biological dad is a Chinese billionaire. And the next character is Carrie Chu. Carrie Chu is Rachel's mother, who once had a romantic relationship with Bao Gaoling. The next is Eleanor Young, Nick's mother, who finally approves of Rachel after finding out that her father is a Chinese billionaire. The next character is Nick Young or Nicholas Young, is Rachel's husband and a member of the Singapore elite. The next is Bao Gaoling or Cao Wei, Carlton and Rachel's biological father, who is a top Chinese politician and also a billionaire who owns a pharmaceutical company. Under his boyhood name Cao Wei, he used to help Carrie whenever his awful husband got very angry in their apartment building, and they eventually fell for each other. Carrie never told him they had a child together. The next character is Bao Xiaoyan, is Carlton's mother, who has a hard time accepting Rachel, but later becomes a second mother to her. She has a gift room that consists of more than 100 Hermes bags. And the next is the next character is Astrid Theo, Nick's fashionable cousin, who is referred to as the Goodness and is known for her impeccable fashion sense. And the last is Michael Theo, is Astrid's newly minted billionaire husband, whose startup company brings a huge success. Due to unknowingly bought by Charlie, his success makes him mean and terrible. We go into the summary. Rachel Chu and Nick Young are preparing for their California wedding. The journey to the altar has not been an easy one, since Rachel is a commoner and Nick comes from the unfathomably rich upper-class elite of Singapore society. Nick's mother, Eleanor Young, tried to sabotage their relationship, which led to Nick being estranged from most of his family. Eleanor is heartbroken to learn that she is not invited to her only son's wedding, but she still has a few tricks up her sleeve when she noticed that The son of the billionaire Chinese politician looks identical to Rachel too. She hires a private investigator and discovers that Rachel's real father is Bao Gaoliang. Eleanor crashes her son's wedding rehearsals by landing her helicopter at the wedding site, but Rachel forgives the intrusion since Eleanor also introduces her to her true father, for whom she's been searching for years. Meanwhile, Nick's favorite cousin, Astrid Leon or Astrid Theo, is having difficulties. Her husband, Michael, is running a successful business, but their relationship is unsatisfying and plagued with arguments over child discipline. She is also missing time with her close friend and former finance, Charlie Wu. Her email and text correspondence with Charlie grow increasingly playful and nostalgic over time. Rachel and Nick's wedding goes off without a single problem, and Gao Liang is even able to attend. Nick accepts Gao Liang's offer for the new couple to honeymoon in Shanghai and meet Rachel's side of the family for the first time. Unfortunately, Gao Liang's wife Bao Xiaoyan hates the idea of her husband's illegitimate daughter visiting. She fears that Rachel's existence might become a scandal that destroys her husband's chance of becoming vice premier. Rachel's sweet but irascible younger brother, Carlton, and his friend, the fabulous socialite colleague Bing, welcome Rachel and Nick to Shanghai and take them to a wide variety of social activities. But Gao Liang is notably absent for all events, and Rachel begins to suspect that her father and stepmother are not truly busy but just avoiding her. Khaled, Carlton, Nick, and Rachel fly to Paris via the Bing's private jet so Khaled can look at the latest runaway fashions. One of Khaled's suitors, Richie Yang, also comes to Paris and staged an elaborate party in Khaled's honor. As a pretense for proposing to her, Khaled is in love with Carlton and refuses Richie's offer. Richie and Carlton get into a fist fight and almost engage in dangerous high-speed drag race, but Rachel convinces Carlton not to go through with it. Carlton attempts to win some goodwill for his mother, Xiaoyan, by telling her that Rachel was the one who saved his reputation and possibly his life. Xiaoyan remains convinced that Rachel is a threat to her family's future. Rachel collapses while on the spa retreat and is rushed to an hospital. Nick discovers a note written to Rachel saying that she has been poisoned and warning her not to enter mainland to China ever again. Carlton realized that Xiaoyan must have poisoned Rachel, and when they confronts her in front of Gao Liang, he also reveals that his mother covered up the death of a girl who was critically injured in a car crash in which Carlton was the driver. An investigation revealed that Rachel was not poisoned by Xiaoyan but by Colette Bing's assistant, Roxanne, in a bizarre attempt to protect Carlton's fortune and thereby protect Colette's happiness. Rachel is invited to Gao Liang's home and welcomed by Xiaoyan, who finally accepts her. Rachel and Nick establish a fresh, satisfying relationship with her newfound family. Next, Astrid and Michael's marriage further breaks down. He puts a great deal of pressure on her to conform to his ideal of a perfect corporate spouse. She shares her relationship with Charlie, who is deeply sympathetic since he is still in love with Astrid, and since his own marriage has collapsed. Astrid learns Astrid learns that Charlie bought Michael's first company for an exorbitant amount of money in order to skyrocket Michael to success, so that Astrid would be happy. Michael believes that Astrid's cheating on him with Charlie and screams at her for her supposed infidelity. When he threatens violence, Astrid realizes that she needs to take her son and leave Michael. She and Charlie form a new happy couple. The next slide shows moral value. This novel teaches the reader that even though he has a lot of assets that cannot be defeated by 7 generations, the characters remain simple and always do good. This novel also teaches us that even though we have been hurt by others, we must still be kind to them. Well, I think that's all my explanation about this novel. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day. See you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.